Tesla has been dominant in the EV market for years, but all that can change with the entry of the new, powerful 2022 Hummer EV. There is no doubt that America has always been a fan of big and heavy vehicles, and it's not just a liking, it's an obsession. Many people see some of the most potent and gigantic vehicles as daily drivers, but with growing carbon emissions, the market has seen a slight decline in them, even though they are still selling like hotcakes. And one big and iconic brand has made a significant gamble combining EV and pickup truck mechanisms. After a 10-year hiatus, the GMC Hummer announced its return with a new EV pickup truck called the GMC Hummer EV. And we have to tell you, there is no such thing as going back at this point, as it has managed to get quite some attention and sales recently, and the performance of this car is bonkers. This is the stuff you would expect in a slim and shiny Ferrari or Mercedes, but you can never say never. Welcome to the channel, and today we will look at how Hummer EV is breaking all records from a mile ahead. The Hummer originated in 1983 when the American car manufacturer General received $1 billion from the Pentagon to build a high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle called Humvee back in the day, and by 1991 the Humvee became one of the most used vehicles by the US military, and there were 72,000 of them. The truck was used more often in the Middle Eastern conflict zones because of its ability to transport troops and ammunition through thick and rugged terrain. While the Hummer, aka Humvee, was still a staple military vehicle and was not produced for familiar roads, Arnold Schwarzenegger is to be thanked for the Hummers being this successful. Schwarzenegger was wholly mesmerized when he saw a Humvee truck on the set of his 1919 movie Kindergarten Cop, and he persuaded GM to produce a road version of this pickup truck. And the Hummers proved to be quite successful, becoming a staple on the roads, and even though you might have seen them on the roads more commonly, they still made heads turn. But the Hummer brand filed for bankruptcy in 2009, a year after the financial crash, and the vehicle's large size and heavy fuel burning rates were to be blamed for their fall. After the crash made people change their minds and be more conservative and careful while buying a pickup truck. The world and the pickup truck industry moved along, leaving Hummer behind. But the Hummer was never to leave. After the rise in the trend of EV pickups, Hummer entered the right time at the right place. There were many more ambitious pickups made by Tesla and many other brands, but the GMC Hummer EV showed from the beginning that it was a force to be reckoned with. Since we have talked a lot about Hummer itself, let's shed some focus on the much loved and adored Hummer EV. The Hummer EV is substantially the most potent EV truck in the market, beating the Tesla Cybertruck and the electric version of the Ford F-150. The truck will make you feel short no matter how tall you are. The Hummer EV stands 2.06 mm tall, or 81.1 inches in length, and 2.202 mm, or 86.7 inches in width, making it the longest and widest one available in the market. You can quickly notice the Hummer from a distance by its enormous size and the Army-style exterior body from the outside. To define the truck's size more clearly, it is almost the size of a driving lane. And when we tell you how much this thing weighs, you'll think for a moment, is this thing real? The Hummer EV weighs 9,063 pounds, and the gross weight is 10,660 pounds. We don't know what GMC had in its mind when making this one, but they made a giant monster in the process. And the colossal battery is also responsible for adding the chunk of weight by weighing 2,923 pounds. This is nearly a third of the weight, and this is again the same car which will go from 0 to 60 in mere 3.5 seconds, and the car is also very fast in the straight roads. This EV is the Buffalo in terms of weight, and has the speed of a Leopard. And with all these in mind, you might be quick to speculate horsepower to be somewhere around 700 or 800, but you might have never guessed that it generates over 1,000 horsepower. The most zeros in terms of horsepower of electric pickups, and the interior of this car is world-class and makes you feel like you were in a movie. The interior has some beautifully fast and precise screens with a mix of pickup and an army truck, and has the retro buttons you would be missing in today's cars. This just makes us conclude to the fact that if this is not the top, nothing in the world will ever be. That's all for the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.